Hey everyone, so today I'm doing another video for my Common Makeup Problem series, and this one was requested by you guys, and that is going to be how to avoid muddy looking bronzer or contour and also kind of patchy looking blush. So I'm going to quickly go over some of my tips on how I avoid this and the products and brushes that I use that really make a difference. So when it comes to applying a good contour or bronzer, it's all about the brushes and also the products. So when it comes to bronzer, I really like this one. This is the Jane Bronzing Powder, and mine is in Dream. It comes in all different shades, which is great. You really want to make sure your bronzer is not too dark. Always go like one shade lighter than you think you're going to be, because it always looks more dramatic when you put it on your face, and you can always layer it up if you want more. Unless if you have really deep colored skin, then obviously you want a darker bronzer. If you are super fair, then you want to get the lightest shade of this, and they do have one lighter than this. I got this at Ulta a couple of years ago, and I still haven't used it all up, but I haven't seen this brand at Ulta recently, but I'm sure I can still find this for you guys online. I think it's around $10 and it works awesome. You also want to go with something that is matte. This does not have any shimmer in it, and it just looks very natural. You can also use a darker face powder. I've tried that before too. I just got a regular face powder from the drugstore, but I went a ton of shades darker, so it definitely worked as a bronzer. You can use a shimmery bronzer too. That method is a little bit different. I think I do have some other videos on using bronzer versus contouring, but pretty much it's the same thing for me. I just like going for a matte color when I'm going to be contouring. So for the brush, I'm using the Sigma Soft Angled Contour Brush. This is my favorite contouring brush that I've ever used. It makes my life so much easier and so much faster. This is another great option if you do have more of a round face. So if your cheeks are a little bit fuller, sometimes it can be hard to use a big brush like this. So for that, I would recommend the Sigma Small Contour F05, which is just a very small dome-shaped brush. So the key with keeping your bronzer from looking muddy is actually having a matte face underneath. So if your foundation is very dewy, very liquidy, if you don't have on powder underneath, it's going to cling to different areas, especially to where you first put your brush, because that's where the most product is. So I always use the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD Setting Powder. This is my favorite, super cheap from the drugstore. I just apply this all over my face with a kabuki brush, and that just helps set my makeup. So even if you don't like using a matte foundation, this is going to help set it in place, so then you have a very smooth canvas. But this is definitely very natural looking, so it's not going to make you look too matte or anything. So I always start up at my ear, and you just want to kind of pull your hair back. I like to kind of hold it, that way I can see, you know, the angle that I'm going at. And whenever you first put your brush down, that's where the most product is going to be. So I always do that right up here at my ear. Don't be afraid to go into your hair. I always go into my hairline with my bronzer just to make it look more natural. So you want to bring that down to your cheek and stop about right here. So you don't want to go too close to your mouth. So you just want to create just a small line. You can suck in your cheeks if you need to see where that hollow is, and just start buffing it out. This brush just does all the blending for you. You don't even have to do a lot. Combined with this good bronzer, it's really going to help make it look more natural. So then for the forehead, I do the same thing. I hold my hair back and I just go all into my hairline. I'm really just starting it here in my hairline and then blending it down towards my face. That way that is the darkest area, so it has a nice gradient and it's not too muddy. The forehead for me is always where it can look muddy, so I make sure that I blend. I do the contour here on my temples, and then I also bring it up towards the center of my face. That way it just has a nice blend all across, so then you kind of have that frame on your face. If you're applying bronzer, like a shimmery bronzer, you just want to do that 3C motion here. So that's where you start up here, and you just kind of go down. But wherever you want it the darkest is where you want to start. So I would still recommend starting in this area for bronzer. Now, if you still want to blend a little bit more, you can use the Sigma. This is just a duo fiber brush. This is their big one. A duo fiber brush is really going to help blend it out, because it's not going to take away the product. It's just going to blend it very lightly, because these bristles are very light and feathery, and it has a very soft touch. You can just kind of swirl over it. You don't want to press too hard and remove the product. You're just kind of blending those edges. Now for blush, for this one I'm just trying out the Makeup Geek XOXO blush. This is the first time that I've really tried her blushes, and I'm obsessed so far. So I'm just using a Sigma, this is just a large angled contour brush. I don't know why they call it contour brush, because I definitely like this better for blush. I like the shape that it has because it fits onto my cheekbone. So I'm just going to dab this into the product and then dab a little bit off on my hand so I don't apply too much. So I just have enough on my brush to really add a little bit of color, but then to where I can still build it. Then I just start where I want the most product again, so back on my cheekbone a little bit, and I just kind of dab it over where I want that blush to go. For my face shape, I like to keep it away from this area of my face, so I like to focus the blush on the outer portion. I just kind of follow my cheekbone upwards. Just wherever it sticks out the most is where you want to put your blush. You can gradually build this up. I like to just go in and blend it in areas using whatever product is left over on my brush. Then I like to go back in with the Duo Fiber brush again and go back over everything so it's nice and blended. Now I'm just following up with a little bit of my highlighter just to complete the cheekbone look, so you can skip this if you don't feel like doing it though. So that is it on how I apply my contour and my blush color. I hope this helped you guys out, just kind of break it down a little bit simple. In my opinion, it's all about the brushes and having a really nice bronzer. It doesn't have to be anything expensive, but this one is just great because it's very light. It's not going to apply too much product. It's just the right pigmentation, I feel like, and it comes in many shades, which is great. So I'll be sure to do a little recap of my tips in case I talk too fast for you guys, or if you want to save them on Pinterest. Those will all be on the blog post that goes with this video, as well as all the products that I use. That way you can see cheaper alternatives and get links to where you can find them for the cheapest price. All that sort of stuff will be on the blog post. So definitely leave me comments down below if you want to see more of these videos. Definitely tell me what topics you would like me to cover. Any problems that you always have with your makeup, be sure to let me know. I'll have the series linked down below. I've done videos on how to avoid patchy foundation, so when your foundation always fades off, super annoying. So I cover that. Also creasing concealer, so cakey concealer under your eyes or just when it starts to fade away, cover that too. And then the last one was also how to cover a blemish. So I will be sure to have those videos down below for you guys if you want to see them. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to my next video. Bye everyone. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you guys some new products that I recently got from a brand new brand that I'm really excited about. It's called the Estee Edit, and it's actually a brand by Estee Lauder.